Prime rib, Christmas roast, standing rib roast, whatever you want to call it. You're probably gonna cook at least one this holiday season and hopefully gonna go to a few more dinner parties where it's on the menu. Prime rib can be pricey though. A 3-bone like this is gonna cost you at least $100 and the sky's the limit after that. And since you're only gonna make it once a year, you probably want it to come out just right. Where most recipes fall short in my mind is that they only tell you about how to cook the roast. And at best, it's still a guessing game with traditional techniques. But making an awesome prime rib really begins at the butcher counter. So I'm gonna walk you through everything you need to know about prime rib, from how to shop for it, how to trim it, the cooking techniques, finishing, and carving, so you can confidently pull off an incredible prime rib start to finish. And if you watch Chef Step's videos, you won't be surprised, I'm cooking this bad boy with our amazing little sous vide tool, Joule. To learn more about Joule and how sous vide cooking works, go to chefsteps.com/Joule and order one up for the holidays. Let's get started. First things first, let's go to the butcher shop. So a roast is a roast, right? Well, not exactly. Ideally, your 3-bone roast should come from the chuck end rather than the loin end. Here's why. So on the cow, you have 13 ribs. The first 5 go through the chuck, the next 7 go through the prime rib. Now back here is a large and tough connective tissue that runs all the way down the muscle, whereas at the chuck end, you get more of this very tender, very flavor-packed cap meat. Not cat meat, cap meat. So this is the chuck right here. This is the decal or the cap meat. You'll see it runs all the way through the full 3-bone roast. If you get the rest of it or the other side, you end up starting real nice, but you end up with lots of connective tissue, less dynamic range of muscles. So you're at the butcher counter and you said, I would like a 3-bone rib roast on the chuck end. And you can order your meat boneless or bone-in. I like to roast them with bones just because it looks really, really pretty. From there, it's probably gonna hand you one like this. And if you want, you can ask them to French it for you. Frenching just means removing all the stuff in between the bones here, makes it really pretty. I'm gonna trust it myself, but since you're paying at least $100, probably more, you can ask your butcher to do all this for you too. So if you want to trim, truss, and French your 3-bone roast yourself, you start by trimming the extra fat between the bones. I'm just gonna start peeling. From there, you're gonna cut the bones off, but you're gonna truss them back on. And that allows you to carve it with these later. And again, you can have your butcher do this, but if you wanna do it yourself, you can go to chefsteps.com. Now that we've trimmed and trussed our roast, we're ready to get cooking. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna pre-sear it. The whole point of pre-searing is to develop a lot of rich and complex flavors that are going to continue to develop as it cooks. We're gonna get a nice heavy pan. We're gonna take a rib roast. We're gonna start searing it. Have that nice sizzle. So just sear all the sides. I really like to use a kitchen towel. It's my favorite tool to use when searing, especially a big hunk of meat. Roll it around, sear the sides, sear the edges. And you don't have to stress about overcooking it. It's such a big piece of meat. This guy's gonna go back in the pan. And from there, I just like to toast some garlic. Just smash them. Smashing them like that. We're gonna add some rosemary. And then put that in the bag with the roast as it cooks. So now that we've got this beautiful piece of meat, it's ready to cook sous vide. So first thing we're gonna do is pick our temperature. You can do whatever temperature you want, totally up to you. For me, I like my prime rib roast to be about 136 degrees Fahrenheit. Here's a little note. I don't like the same steak doneness that I like with my roast. The reason why I cook a roast a little bit hotter is because it's so heavy, it's so big. I like to have a little bit more firmness and structure to it. It slices better, it eats better, it's just a much nicer texture for a big hunk of meat. You can go rare though, totally up to you. I'm gonna do 136 degrees Fahrenheit. From there, let's bag it up. Totally recommend a heavy duty vac bag. You don't have to vacuum pack it, but the vacuum bags are much stronger, much thicker welds. So when you pick up your heavy roast out of the bath, roast isn't gonna fall through or break through those little seals on Ziplocs. If you are gonna go the Ziploc route, I recommend doubling up. It's your holiday roast, you know, you probably spend a couple $100 on it. Everything here is gonna go in the bag, but I just put the roast in first. Pop it in a Joule and you're done. Woo-hoo! Whoa! For this 3-bone roast, it weighs about 7 pounds, but more importantly, it's about 6 inches thick. It's going to take about 6 hours to be done. I'm gonna go cook some other awesome stuff. I'm going to make some potatoes, I'm gonna call my friends, I'm gonna write some holiday cards, I'm gonna make some mulled wine. not do my quarterly taxes. So I never do them quarterly. So, we've got a rib roast, it's perfectly cooked. All we need to do is finish it. So first thing I'm gonna do is preheat the oven to 475, and if you have a fan or convection, use it. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the roast out. Don't throw the bag juices away. We're gonna make a fresh jus out of that. So we're gonna take a hot pan, dump all the bag juices and the herbs and the garlic in there. You let it cook down, get rid of all the water. It looks like Swamp Thing. And then it's gonna start to sizzle and fry, and it's gonna get nice and dark. Right when it's there, you're going to either add wine, stock, water, something to deglaze it. I'm just gonna add stock. I'm gonna add a little bit at first. So now nothing's sticking on the bottom. Just add the rest in. Let it simmer and deglaze for a few minutes. Strain it, season it. That's it, super easy. So we've got this jus, it's real beautiful. It's ready to go. We're just gonna put it aside and get back to the roast. So when I'm talking about finishing a nice prime rib roast, I want a super crunchy crust on it. Super easy. Salt and pepper and rosemary. Goes in a little bowl. Good amount of salt, pepper, nothing to it. Egg white serves one purpose, and that's to bond the rub to the roast. So take our egg white, whip it up, whisk it up real good, nice and fluffy, and we're gonna brush it on the roast. So as soon as you brush, give it a little herb. Sprinkle dinkle dinkle doo. Whoop. Trying to make it crusty. A roast like this is gonna take anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, and I know that's a big range, but everyone's oven's different. Don't worry about it, just keep an eye on it and just make it look good. So we've got this beautiful roast, perfectly cooked. I'm gonna show you how to carve it without stressing out. Really, really easy. Since we took the ribs off of the main roast, so we're just going to slice the strings. We can set them over here and lay our meat right on top of that. Going to get rid of the strings. We're just going to slice nice little easy slices. I carve about half of it, put it back in the tray. We're off to the races. I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm gonna sneak a piece. That is so good. This is the best cut on the 3-bone, the decal. So much decal. That's what's so great about Jewel. This is 136 degrees Fahrenheit from edge to edge, all the way through. Didn't have to stress when to take it out. No stress when the in-laws come or your friends come. It's perfect ribeye. Should we try the jus? Whoa. I should be super sick of meat, guys, but I'm digging this. I know I packed a ton of information in this video, but that's because I can't wait for you to use all this info and have an amazing, delicious feast for your friends and family. Go to Chef Steps, get a Jewel, make sure you cook your prime rib this holiday season. Sous vide with Jewel. I think it's awesome. That's how heavy it is. It's a rib roast, they're heavy.